Hi students and friends, welcome to the channel Learn and Teach by Ayaz. In this video, I'm going to talk about CAIE 5070 past papers, and we have specimen paper 1 for examination from 2023 and onwards. So let's begin the video. So you all know the code is 5070 and paper is multiple choice and it will be of 1 hour. You must answer on the multiple choice answer sheet. You will need multiple choice answer sheet, soft clean eraser, soft pencil type B or HB is recommended. Instructions. There are 40 questions on this paper. Answer all questions. For each question, there are 4 possible answers, A, B, C, and D. Choose the one you consider correct and record your choice in soft pencil on the multiple choice answer sheet. Follow the instructions on the multiple choice answer sheet. Write in soft pencil. Write your name, center number, and candidate number on the multiple choice answer sheet in the spaces provided unless this has been done for you. Do not use correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. You may use a calculator. Information. The total mark for this paper is 40. Each correct answer will score 1 mark, which means there won't be any kind of deduction of marks in this paper. Any rough working should be done on this question paper. The periodic table is printed in the question paper. So here's the question number 1. Stearic acid has a melting point of 69 degrees centigrade. A heated sample of pure stearic acid is cooled and the temperature is recorded every minute for 30 minutes. A graph of the results is shown. You see on x-axis, the time is given, and on y-axis, you have temperature in centigrade. Which process occurs between 8 and 12 minutes? So this will be the 8-minute and 12-minute. So first of all, you will look at the melting point of stearic acid. It's 69 degrees centigrade, just falling here, which means at this state, the stearic acid exists in the solid and liquid state. And it's written in the question that a heated sample of stearic acid is cooled. So it means the process should be freezing at this point. So the correct answer for this question will be part C. Number 2, which statements are correct? The volume of a gas at constant pressure increases as the temperature increases. So for any gas, the volume will increase at constant pressure whenever you increase the temperature. So this is correct statement. Statement number 2. When the pressure of a gas is increased, the particles move closer together. This is also correct because whenever you increase the pressure of a gas, the particles move closer to each other. Statement number 3. The pressure of a gas at constant volume decreases as the temperature increases. Whenever you increase the temperature, the pressure of a gas at constant volume will not decrease. Gas will exert more pressure at high temperature. So this is incorrect statement. So we have only 2 statements, which is correct 1 and 2. So B will be the right answer for this question. Number 3. Which substance would diffuse most quickly? Now the temperature is quoted in all the choices A, B, C, D. We will pick the answers for higher temperatures. So your answer will either be B or D. So I have narrowed down your choices. So A and C are incorrect. Now what we will do, we will calculate the MR and AR. We have MR of carbon dioxide. We know carbon, the nucleon number of carbon is 12, and we have two atoms of oxygen. The nucleon number of oxygen is 16, or mass. You can say mass or nucleon number. So if you will add this, you will get 44. What about neon? Neon belongs to group 8. This is the periodic table. Here's the neon. Its AR is 20. So the AR of neon is 20. So it must be neon at 25 degrees centigrade. So D will be the correct answer for 3. Number 4. Which diagram shows the arrangement of particles inside a balloon containing a mixture of the gases nitrogen and oxygen? You should know that both nitrogen and oxygen are diatomic, which means they exist in the diatomic state. We have N2 for nitrogen and O2 for oxygen. And these should be randomly distributed. So choice C is the correct answer for this question. Number 5. The ion Q2 plus has 3 complete shells of electrons. What is Q? Q2 plus mean it must be a metal which has lost 2 electrons. Now look at the periodic table. They said that 3 complete shells of electrons. If you look at the periodic table, calcium is present in the group 2 and it is in the period 4. It will definitely lose electrons, and after losing 2 electrons, it will be left with 3 shells. Coming back to the question, so choice A will be the correct answer. I'm showing you the working for both magnesium and calcium. This is the electronic configuration of calcium. Its proton number is 20. So the number of electron will be 22, 8, 8, 2. So after losing 2 electrons, that is forming Ca plus 2 ion, it will be left with 2, 8, 8. Magnesium is also present in group 2. So the proton number of magnesium is 12, which means it has 12 electrons. So we have 2, 8, 2. After losing 2 electrons, it will form Ng plus 2 ion with the electronic configuration 2, 8. So now magnesium has 2 complete shells of electrons. So you can't have magnesium as your correct answer. The only answer A will be the correct one for this question. Number 6. The symbols for 2 ions are shown, F minus and A plus. If you look at the numbers, the both proton and nucleon numbers are given for these 2 elements. These are the these are the proton numbers. And nucleon numbers are also given for both of these. Which statement is correct? Now I'm reading all these statements. A, the fluoride ion contains more electrons than the sodium ion. Look at the charge on fluoride ion. it is minus, which means it has one extra electrons. The proton number of F minus is 9, and minus means it has gained one more electron. So total number of electrons for F minus will be 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. What about Na plus? Na plus means it has lost one electron. Look at the proton number of Na plus, which means it has 11 electrons. And now it has lost one electron. So 11 minus 1 will be 10. So this statement is wrong. Let's see the next statement. B. The sodium ion contains more neutrons than the fluoride ion. Now look at the number of neutrons for both of these. You know how you're going to calculate the number of neutrons by subtracting the proton number from nucleon number. For fluoride, 19 minus 9 is 10. For sodium ion, 21 minus 11, it is also 10. So this statement is also incorrect. Let's move on. C. The two ions contain the same number of electrons as each other. No, I have already calculated the electrons. Both are having 10 electrons. So this must be the right statement. So the correct answer for this question will be C. I'm reading the last statement for you. D. The two ions contain the same number of protons as each other. This is also incorrect. The reason is that proton numbers are given. For fluoride ion, it's 9. For Na plus ion, it's 11. So this is wrong. Number 7. Two isotopes of chlorine are Cl35 and Cl37. Using these isotopes, how many different relative molecular masses are possible for the compound with molecular formula C2H3Cl3? C2H3Cl3. Now two isotopes are given. The possibility will be all these three chlorine atoms are of same nucleon number, that is Cl35. We have possibility of Cl35, possibility number 1. Possibility number 2, I'm writing it here, all three chlorine atoms. Number 2, all three will be of chlorine 37. All three chlorine atoms. Number 3, possibility number 3. In possibility number 3, you may have 2 Cl35, 2 and 1 of Cl37. Possibility number 4, you have 1 Cl35 and 2 Cl37. So this is the maximum possibility you can have. So you can have 4 relative molecular masses for this compound. So C must be the correct answer. Number 8. What must happen to an atom of a group 2 element in order to form a compound? We know that group 2 element is a metal, so it must be losing electron. It can't share electron. So let me read all the statements. A, bond with 2 atoms of oxygen. It can't bond with 2 atoms of oxygen because oxygen belongs to group 6, which means it needs 2 electrons to complete its valence shell. So the group 2 element is losing 2 electrons, so it will bond only with 1 atom of oxygen. So this is incorrect. We read the B statement. B, receive 2 electrons from an atom of oxygen. It can't receive because it's a metal. It will lose electron. C, share 2 electrons with an atom of oxygen. Again, it will not share electrons. So we are left with only D, which will be the right statement. I'm reading transfer 2 electrons to an atom of oxygen. Number 9, ethane, C2H6, and ammonia, NH3 are covalent compounds. The dot and cross diagrams of these compounds are shown. This is ethane, and this is ammonia, and H3. This is C2H6. Both the diagrams are correct. Which statements are correct? Now I'm reading the statements for you. Number 1, a molecule of ethane contains twice as many hydrogen atoms as a molecule of ammonia. If you look at the hydrogen atoms in ethane, they are twice. So this statement is correct. Statement number 2, an unreacted nitrogen atom has 5 outer electrons. Nitrogen belongs to group 5 and belongs to group 5. So it means it must have 5 valence electrons. So this statement is also correct. I'm reading the last statement. 3, in a molecule of ethane, the bond between the carbon atoms is formed by sharing 2 electrons, one from each carbon atom. This statement is also correct because both the carbon atoms are sharing 1 electrons with each other. So all these 3 statements are correct. So the correct answer should be A. Number 10. A compound contains 70% by mass of iron and 30% by mass of oxygen. What is its empirical formula? AR of oxygen is given, that is 16, and for Fe, it's 56. You know the method? Fe for iron, O for oxygen. Divide the percentage by their AR. If you divide it by 56, and for oxygen, you will divide 30 by 16. Seventy divided by 56, you will get 1.25 for oxygen. Divide 30 by 16, you will get 1.875, which is the smallest number. 1.25 is the smallest number. Divide both the numbers or answers by 1.25. For Fe, you will get 1 mole. For oxygen, you will get 1.875 divided by 1.25, 1.5. Now you see the answer is not in whole number. What we will do, we will multiply both the values to get the answer in whole numbers. If you multiply it by 2, what you will get? You will get Fe2O3. So the correct answer should be B. The equation for the reaction between ethyne, C2H2, and oxygen is shown. 2C2H2, XO2, YCO2, plus ZH2O. When the equation is balanced, what is X? So what we will do, we will simply balance this reaction equation, then we'll get the correct balanced form of this equation. I'm writing the equation here. 2C2H2 plus XO2. I'm not writing X here. Getting CO2 plus H2O. Now start balancing the equation. We have 4 carbon atoms on the left hand side or the reactant side of the reaction. So I will write 4 before CO2. Hydrogen is also 4 on the left hand side of the reaction equation. So I will write 2 here. Now let's start counting the oxygen atom on the right hand side. 4 2s are 8 plus 2. It will be 10. So I will write 5 here. So the correct answer for this question should be D. Number 12. 25 grams of hydrated copper 2 sulfate crystals are heated to produce anhydrous copper 2 sulfate and water. CuSO4.5H2O solid gives CuSO4 solid plus 5H2O. What is the mass of anhydrous copper 2 sulfate formed? MR of CuSO4 and H2O is provided. So what we will do, I'm writing the equation here on the right hand side, CuSO4 dot 5H2O. They are asking the mass of the anhydrous copper 2 sulfate, so I will write CuSO4. Simply express their MR in grams. So first of all, you need to calculate the MR of CuSO4 dot 5H2O. So it should be CuSO4 dot 5H2O. For CuSO4, it's given, it's 160 plus. The MR of water is also given, so you will multiply 18 by 5. What you will get? 5, 8, 40 should be 90. So 160 plus 90 should be 250. So you write 250 grams copper sulfate dot 5H2O gives 160 grams of CuSO4. Therefore, 25 grams gives X gram of CuSO4 anhydrous. So it will be X is equal to 160 multiplied by 25 divided by 250. So 1 times 25, 10 times 250. So answer should be 16. This is the correct answer for this choice. Multiple choice. Number 13. The relative formula masses of 4 compounds are given. A student has a 1 gram sample of each compound. Which sample contains the highest number of moles of oxygen atoms? Relative formula mass for each compound is given. So what I will do, I will convert all these relative formula mass into moles. So it will become then easier for us to calculate the highest number of moles of oxygen atom in one of these compounds. For Al2O3, 1 divided by 102 gives 0.009 moles. For CuO, 1 divided by 80 gives 0.0125 moles. For H2SO4, 1 divided by 98 gives 0.0102 moles. For the last one, 1 divided by 63, 0.0158 moles. So for Al2O3, we have 3 moles of oxygen. So I will write 1 mole gives 3 moles of oxygen. Therefore, 0.009 moles gives X moles. So answer will be X is equal to 3 multiplied by 0.009. So the final answer will be 0.027. 0.027. So I will write here 0.027. These are the moles of oxygen. For CuO, as the formula implies, is 1 mole of oxygen. So no need to do the calculation. 0.0125 mole gives 0.0125 moles of oxygen. So I will write here 0.0125 moles of oxygen. For H2SO4, H2SO4, we have 4 moles of oxygen. 1 mole contain 4 moles. Therefore, 0.0102 mole contain X mole. So X is equal to 4 multiplied by 0.0102, which will become 4 multiplied by 0.0102, 0.0408, 0.0408. For the last one, that is HNO3. We have 3 moles of oxygen. 1 mole contain 3 moles. Therefore, 0.0158 mole contains X. So X is equal to, you will multiply 3 by 0.0158. 0.0158 multiplied by 3. 0.0474. So the correct answer should be HNO3. D should be the correct answer. Number 14. 50 centimeter cube of 0.1 mole per dm cube silver nitrate AgNO3 is added to 150 centimeter cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube sodium iodide NaI in a beaker. After the reaction, solid silver iodide is present in the beaker. What else is present? First of all, I'm going to write the reaction equation. Reaction equation will be like this: AgNO3 plus NaI. The products are sodium iodide, silver iodide, AgI plus sodium nitrate. You see the ratio for both the reactant is 1:1. So first of all, I'm going to find the limiting and excess reactant in this reaction. Once you know the excess and limiting reactant, so excess reactant will be the one which will be left with the product in this reaction. So the volume and concentration for both silver nitrate and sodium iodide is given. So I'm going to convert this into moles for AgNO3 and NaI. For AgNO3, I'm doing it on the left hand side. 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.1 mole. Therefore, 50 centimeter cube contains X mole. So it will be X is equal to 0.1 multiplied by 50 divided by 1000. 0.1 multiplied by 50 divided by 1000. Answer will be 0.005 moles of AgNO3. Now let's calculate the moles for sodium iodide, NaI. According to the information, 150 centimeter cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube of sodium iodide is reacted. So I will write 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.05 moles. Therefore, 150 centimeter cube contains X moles. So you will get X is equal to 0.05 multiplied by 150 divided by 1000. So what we will get? 0.05 multiplied by 150 divided by 1000. 0.0075. So that clearly indicates in both of these reactants, sodium iodide is in excess. So in the answer, you must have sodium iodide as one of the substance present in the reaction mixture in beaker. So choice B should be the correct answer for this one. 15. When zero point 0.1 mole of the hydrocarbon C5H12 is completely combusted, it produces carbon dioxide, CO2, and water H2O. This is the reaction equation. C5H12 plus 8O2 gives 5CO2 plus 6H2O. What is the volume of carbon dioxide produced when measured at room temperature and pressure? So first of all, check the reaction equation whether it is balanced or not. Let's count the carbon atoms on both sides. It's 5. Carbon is balanced. What about hydrogen? It's 12 on the reactant side. On the product side, it's 12. What about oxygen? Oxygen is 16 on the reactant side. On the product side, 5 multiplied by 2, it's 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. So it means oxygen is also balanced on both sides of the reaction equation. Now let's proceed. They are asking what is the volume of carbon dioxide produced when measured at room temperature and pressure. The moles of C5H12 is given. So we'll write C5H12 gives 5 moles of CO2. So we will write 1 mole produces 5 moles of CO2. Therefore, 0.1 mole produces X mole of CO2. Do the cross, what you will get? You will get X is equal to 5 multiplied by 0.1 is equal to 0.5 moles of carbon dioxide. We know that at RTP, for any gas, 1 mole is contains 24 dmq. So what we will do, we will multiply 1 mole contain 0.5 moles. Therefore, 24 dmq. 24 dmq. Therefore, 0.5 mole contain X dmq. So you will multiply 24 by 0.5. So answer will be 12 dmq. So this should be the correct answer. Number 16. Carbon electrodes are used to electrolyze aqueous copper 2 sulfate. Which observations are made? So we know that at anode, sulfate ion will move towards the anode and the gases will, oxygen and water will be produced. We don't have copper electrodes here. So choice C and D are automatically omitted. Now we are left with A and B. Either A is correct or B is correct. Because in both the choices at anodes written colorless gas forms. Now we'll check the electrolyte. Now they are saying blue color fades. Now again, both the choices are correct in this one also. Because copper 2 sulfate is blue in color and it fades away when copper gets deposited at one of the electrodes. The color of the copper depositing will be pink. So choice A will be the correct answer for this one. Number 17. Electrolysis is used to plate a metal coin with silver. The coin is used as an electrode in a suitable electrolyte. So if I make a electrolytic cell here, so at cathode, we have a coin and at anode should be silver. This will be the beaker. Which row is correct? Coin. Coin should be cathode. This is cathode. This is coin. Should be cathode. So you can have one of these choices correct, either C or D. Electrolyte. Now you can have either AgCl or AgNO3. AgCl is incorrect. The reason is that AgCl, in AgCl, Cl will get deposited at anode to form chlorine gas, and chlorine gas will react with silver. So we need silver ions to be compensated in the solution, and it should be coming from one of the electrode, and which is anode here. This is anode, this is silver. So AgNO3 will be the electrolyte used. This is the right choice. So the correct answer will be D. 18. An endothermic reaction has an activation energy of X. Which reaction pathway diagram is correct for this reaction? For endothermic reaction, remember the energy hump moves up, which means that when the product absorbs some energy, it should be at the higher energy state than the reactant. So you must have hum in this way. This will be the hum for endothermic process. So either A is correct or D is correct. So now we will look at the activation energy. In A, activation energy is correctly labeled, but in D, activation energy is incorrectly labeled. So the answer will be A. Number 19. The formation of liquid water from hydrogen and oxygen may occur in 3 stages. Number 1, 2H2 gas plus O2 gas gives 4H gas plus 2O gas. 2, 4H gas plus 2O gas gives 2H2O gas. 3, 2H2O gas gives 2H2O liquid. Which stages are endothermic? In the first one, H2 and O2 are broken down to produce 4H and 2O, and this is an endothermic process, so this is correct. Number 2, 4H plus 2O gives 2H2O. This is combination reaction, so this can't be endothermic. Let's check the last one. 2H2O gas gives 2H2O liquid. State changes from gas to liquid, which means energy is released. Energy is released to the surrounding or exothermic. So this is also incorrect. We are left with only one. So B is the right answer. Question number 20. In 4 separate experiments, 1, 2, 3, and 4, nitric acid is added to an excess of marble pieces and the volume of carbon dioxide gas formed is measured. In all 4 experiments, the same volume of nitric acid is used. The concentration or temperature, or both concentration and temperature of the nitric acid are changed. The results of the experiments are shown on the graph. On x-axis, you have time in minutes, and on y-axis, you have volume of CO2 produced. Which statement is correct? I'm reading the statements. A lower concentration of acid is used in experiment 3 than in experiment 1. Let's compare 1 with 3. They are saying lower concentration of acid is used in 3 than in 1. This looks correct, because if you look at the position of 1 and 3, there's a difference in the concentration of acid. So this looks correct. Now let's check the other statements. B, experiment 4 is faster than experiment 3. Let's compare 4 and 3. 4 and 3. Experiment 3 should be faster as compared to 4. So this is wrong. Statement C, choice C. The acid used in experiment 2 is of lower concentration than in experiment 1. Let's compare experiment 2 and experiment 1. 2 and 1. Which is of lower concentration? Is 2 is of all lower concentration, or 1 is of lower concentration? They are saying the acid used in 2 is of lower concentration than in experiment 1. So this one is also wrong, because they are saying concentration or temperature both can be changed. This looks like the change in size of the particles or change in temperature, because both the experiment 1 and 2 are ending with same uniform line. You see the same uniform line. So this statement is also incorrect. Last choice, D. The temperature of the acid is the same in experiment 1 and 2. Experiment 1 and 2, if you look at this, the temperature, again, it can't be same, because the line is starting and the slopes, both the slopes are different. One slope is steeper than for experiment 2. So this is again incorrect. We are left with A. This will be the right answer. 21. The equation shows the reaction for the manufacture of ammonia. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas gives 2NH3 gas. Which change will decrease the activation energy of the reaction? A. Adding a catalyst. We know that adding a catalyst will decrease the activation energy of the reaction mixture. So this looks correct. Now let's see the other statements. B. Decreasing the temperature. If you decrease the temperature, the activation energy can be decreased for the reaction. Instead, it will disturb the equilibrium of this reaction mixture. So this is wrong. C. Increasing the concentration. The concentration has no effect on the activation energy. So this is also wrong. D. Increasing the pressure. Again, pressure also doesn't have any effect on the activation energy. So we are left with A. A is the right answer here. Number 22. A reversible reaction is shown. BiCl3 aqueous plus H2O liquid gives BiOCl plus 2HCl, which changes increase the mass of the precipitate forms. This is a precipitate we are getting, BiOCl, precipitate of BiOCl is formed. Number 1, adding more water. If you'll add more water, what will happen? It will move the equilibrium to the right hand side. So this statement is correct. Number 2, adding aqueous sodium hydroxide. What will happen if you add aqueous sodium hydroxide? Sodium hydroxide will react with HCl, and both of these will produce more water. More water produced means the equilibrium will shift to the right hand side. It means you will have more precipitate. So this statement is also correct. Number 3, adding dilute hydrochloric acid. Definitely it will shift the equilibrium to the left hand side, which means you will have more BiCl3 and H2O. So both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So the correct answer will be choice A. 23, sulfur trioxide is produced by the reversible reaction shown. 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3G. Delta H is negative in the forward direction, which indicates that the forward direction is exothermic. Which change in conditions will produce a greater amount of SO3 at equilibrium? A, adding a catalyst. You know that catalyst has no effect on the equilibrium. It simply increases the rate of reaction in both the direction. Increases the rate in both directions. So this is wrong. B, increasing the pressure. What will happen if you increase the pressure? Let's look at the number of moles of gases on both sides. I'm writing the equation here. 2SO2 gas plus O2 gas, 2SO3 gas. So count the number of gas. We have 3 moles here. If you increase the pressure, equilibrium will shift to the side which has less number of moles. So this is the right statement. So answer should be B, but we will check the other choices also. C, increasing the temperature. The increasing the temperature will shift the equilibrium to the side with uh, endothermic side. So we have endothermic side is the reactant one. So equilibrium will shift to the reactant side. So this is the wrong choice. D, removing some SO2 and O2. If you remove from SO2 and O2, what will happen? The more SO3 will be broken down to produce more SO2 and O2. So again, this is wrong. So the correct answer will be B. For 23, the correct answer will be B. 24, iron 2 ions react with chlorine, 2Fe2 plus Cl2 gas, 2Fe3 plus aqueous plus 2Cl minus aqueous. Which statement about this reaction is correct? A, chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions. So we will check by looking at this equation which one is reduced and oxidized. If you look at the oxidation number of Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus, this is oxidation because the oxidation number increases. Increase in oxidation number. Oxidation number. For Cl2, the oxidation state of Cl2 is 0. So it's changing to -1, which means reduction because the oxidation number is decrease here. Oxidation number is decreased. You can even say it has lost, it has gained 1 electron. It has gained 1 electron. So choice A is chlorine is reduced. Is chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions? This looks correct to me. Let's see the other choices. B, chlorine is a reducing agent. No, which is reduced? Chlorine is reduced. So it means it must be the oxidizing agent because Fe2 plus is oxidized to Fe3 plus. Number C, iron 2 ions are reduced by chlorine. No. Again, both of these are wrong. D, iron 2 ions are the oxidizing agent. They are the reducing agent because they reduce chlorine into chloride ion. Reducing agent because they reduced Cl2 to Cl negative ions. So the answer A is correct. So here's the MCQ number 25. Which reactions involve oxidation and reduction? So first of all, I'm going to read all the statements. Number 1, chlorine gas reacting with aqueous potassium iodide. So this is the reaction between chlorine and potassium iodide. If you look at the position of chlorine in the periodic table, it is above iodine. So the reaction will definitely take place. And the product will be KCl and iodine because chlorine is more reactive than iodine. And this is an example of redox reaction because in this reaction, chlorine is reduced and iodide is oxidized. Reduced because the oxidation number of chlorine has changed from 0 to -1. Iodide is oxidized because the oxidation number of iodide has changed from -1 to 0. So this statement is correct. Statement number 2. Dilute sulfuric acid reacting with magnesium. Here's the reaction between sulfuric acid and magnesium. Magnesium is one of the reactive metals, so it will definitely react with sulfuric acid producing MgSO4 and H2 gas. During this reaction, the oxidation number of magnesium has changed from 0 to +2, which means it is oxidized. On the other hand, the oxidation number of hydrogen has changed from +1 to 0, which means the oxidation number is decreased, which is an example of reduction. So it is reduced. So again, the second statement is also an example of oxidation and reduction. Statement number 3. Dilute hydrochloric acid reacting with aqueous sodium hydroxide. Here's the reaction between hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. The product will be NaCl and H2O. If you look at this reaction, none of the element has change in oxidation number taking place. For your convenience, I am writing the oxidation number of each element in this reaction. Hydrogen is +1. Here is also +1. On the product side, again it's +1 because attached to oxygen. Chlorine -1, product side is -1. Sodium +1, product side again +1. What about oxygen? Oxygen -2 on the reactant side, and on the product side is -2. So this is not an example of oxidation and reduction. So only statement number 1 and 2 is correct. So the correct answer will be B. Number 26. Which statement about weak acids is correct? You know, weak acids are acids which partially or partly dissociate in an aqueous solution. Statement number A, they are partially dissociated in aqueous solution. So this is the correct statement. It must be the right answer. But I'm going to check the other statements also for your convenience. B, they do not react with alkalis. Acids will react with alkalis. So this is wrong. C, they do not react with metals. Again, this statement is again wrong because acid will react with metals. D, they form solutions with pH values in the range 0 to 5. This is the pH range for strong acids. So all these statements are incorrect. Only statement number 1 is correct. Number 27. A colorless aqueous solution of pH 13 is tested separately with methyl orange indicator and thymophthalein indicator. Which row is correct? This is something which you have to learn by heart. Statement number A, the color with methyl orange is red, color with thymophthalein is blue. The only correct answer will be C. The reason is that pH 13 is for alkali. In fact, it's strong alkali, and it gives yellow color in methyl orange and blue color in thymophthalein. 28. Which pair of reagents is suitable for preparing a pure sample of copper 2 chloride crystals? A, aqueous copper 2 nitrate and aqueous sodium chloride. This reaction will not take place. Both are soluble, but this reaction will not take place. You can't have double displacement reactions happening here. So this is wrong. Statement number B, copper and aqueous sodium chloride. Copper is less reactive than sodium, so it will not displace sodium from sodium chloride. Copper less reactive than sodium. So again, this is a wrong statement. C, copper and dilute hydrochloric acid. Copper will not react with dilute acid. It will only react with concentrated acids. Statement number D, copper 2 oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid. This is the only correct statement here. You can prepare copper 2 chloride by reacting copper 2 oxide with dilute hydrochloric acid. Number 29. Element X forms an oxide of formula X2O5. In which group of the periodic table is X likely to be found? A, group 2. If you look at the formula, this is X2O5. If you place oxygen and X in this way, look at their number of atoms. I'm putting these numbers on the top of each atom. X2, oxygen 5. Now these will be subscript. These will be exchanged before getting the final formula. So this 2 is definitely coming from oxygen and 5 is coming from X. So oxygen, we know that belongs to group 6. Group 6. Looking at the number for X, it definitely belongs to group 5. B, group 3. Both of these statements are wrong because both of this group contains metals. We don't have a metal here. Statement C, group 5. This is the only right answer. D, group 8. Group 8 does not react. 30. The diagram shows the structure of an alloy. This is the structure of an alloy. Recall, alloys are mixture of metals. Which statement about alloys is correct? A, alloys can only be formed by mixing copper or iron with other metals. This is wrong. You can make alloys involving other metals, even non-metals also. B, carbon and iron are the only two elements in stainless steel. Again, this statement is wrong because you can even have other elements or metals in stainless steel like nickel, manganese, tungsten, etc. C, in an alloy, there is attraction between positive ions and a sea of delocalized electrons. This is correct statement because both metals and alloys contain attraction between positive ions and a sea of delocalized electrons. Statement number D, the alloy brass has a chemical formula. Brass is an alloy. Alloy does not have any chemical formula. So this is again wrong statement. 31. Which compound has the lowest percentage by mass of nitrogen? You need to do calculation here. MR of each compound is given. You know the AR of nitrogen. Look at the periodic table. It is 14. For A, there are 2 nitrogen atoms. So 2 multiplied by 14 is 28. So you'll multiply 28 by 100 and divide it by 60. What you will get? 46.666. 46.666. For number 2, again you have 2 nitrogen. So it must be 28 multiplied by 100 and divided by MR, which is 132 here. This time you have 21.212%. Number C, now you are having 3 nitrogen atoms, so you will multiply 3 by 14 and you will get 42. 42 will be multiplied by 100 and divided by the MR of ammonium phosphate, which is NH4 whole thrice PO4. It is 149. You'll get 28.187. Number D, ammonium nitrate, NH4, NO3. Again, you are having 2 nitrogen atoms, so you have 28 multiplied by 100 and the AR will be 80. Answer will be 35. So B will be the correct answer for this question. Number 32. The diagrams show the structures of 5 hydrocarbons. These are 5 hydrocarbons. Which 3 hydrocarbons are isomers of each other? You know the concept of isomers. Isomers have same molecular formula, but different structural formula. So the best way of doing this is start writing the molecular formula of each hydrocarbons. Number 1, you have 5 carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you are having 5 carbon and hydrogen. 3 multiplied by 4 should be 12. And in 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. H10. For number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C5. Again, you are having H12. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 carbon atoms. Hydrogen. Again, there will be 10 hydrogen atoms. So if you look at these structures carefully, we have 1, 2, 4. These are the isomers. And 3 and 5 are also isomers. So if you look at the choices in A, you have 1, 2, and 4. This looks correct to me. I will check the other choices also. B, 2, 3, and 5. This is wrong. Number C, 2, 3, and 4. Again, this is wrong because C4H10 is a different formula from C5H12. Number D, 3, 4, and 5. Again, this is wrong. So we are left with only one, which is A, and it is correct answer. 33. The diagram shows a fractionating column used in the separation of petroleum. So you have fraction. These all are fractions. P, Q, R, S, T, U. This is a fractionating column, and you have crude oil introduced from here. Which row explains why fraction R is collected above fraction S? Remember, R must be having low boiling point or melting point, and it must be of lower fraction and having low carbon chain. So look at the choices. If the boiling point of R, if they have written greater, so straight away you will omit both of these choices, A and B. You are left with C and D. Both of these are correct. Now look at the statements. For average molecular mass of R, it should be smaller than S. So this is wrong. This one is correct. So the correct answer will be D. 34. Which compound is an alkane? Recall the general formula of alkane: CnH2n plus 2. If you look at all the choices, C31H33 is, it does not follow the general formula CnH2n plus 2, because if you will put the value of 31 for n, what you will get? You will get 31 multiplied by 2, 62, 62 plus 2, 64. So this is wrong. What about B? C31H60. Again, this is wrong. C31H2 multiplied by 31 plus 2. You will get C31H64. C31H62. This is also incorrect. We are left with only choice D is the right answer. 35. Which row correctly describes alkenes? Alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons which contain carbon-carbon double bond. So automatically these two choices are omitted. We are left with only C and D. So both can be correct. Now let's check the last statement. Result when shaken with aqueous bromine. Alkenes will decolorize bromine. So answer D will be the correct. A carboxylic acid with molecular formula C4H8O2 reacts with an alcohol with molecular formula C3H8O to form an ester. What is the formula of the ester form? It's very easy. Recall the other name for ester. It's alkyl alkanoate. Remember, alkyl is coming from alcohol. Alkyl group is coming from alcohol. Alkanoate is coming from carboxylic acid. Now look at the formula of carboxylic acid here. It's C4H8O2. So it must be butanoic acid. Butanoic acid. And for alcohol, the formula is C3H8O, which means the alcohol must be propanol. So we must get propyl butanoate. Propyl butanoate. In propyl, you have 3 carbon atoms. In butanoate, you are having 4 carbon atoms. So from the alcohol, you are getting alkyl group with C3. So look at the choices. On the right hand side, you have alkyl group. This is the alkyl group. So it must be C3. So choice A is wrong because C4 and C is also incorrect because it's also C4. We can either have B or D as correct answer. Now, what about the alkanoate group? It must be butanoate. Butanoate means there must be 4 carbon atoms. So choice B should be the right answer. D is also incorrect because there are 3 carbon atoms. (37) The repeat unit of a polymer is shown. This is the polymer. Which monomer would produce this polymer? Now I'm going in the reverse direction to make the monomer of this polymer. Now we will look at the choices. In choice A matches with our answer. So I think A should be the right answer. Let's check B. In B, you can see both bromine and chlorine are attached to different carbon atoms. So B is the wrong choice. C, again, you have bromine and chlorine attached to different carbon atoms. So again, it's wrong. And D, again, you are having same situation. Both bromine and chlorine are attached to different carbon atoms. So we are left with only A. A will be the right answer for this question. 38. When heated, magnesium reacts with oxygen in the air to form magnesium oxide, a white powder. The student investigates the change in mass that occurs during this reaction. The student is given a balance and the three sets of apparatus shown. These are the apparatus 1, 2, and 3. Now student is investigating the change in mass that's occurring during this reaction. So one must be wrong. You can either have 2, 3, or both. Now look at the choices. It seems that only C is the correct answer because it's saying 2 and 3 only. All the other choices are wrong. 1, 2, 3 wrong. 1 and 3 wrong. T2 only wrong. 39. A student uses paper chromatography to find an RF value for Fe3 plus aqueous. The result is shown. Solvent front, baseline is given, and Fe3 plus. To make the spot containing Fe3 plus aqueous more visible, the paper is sprayed with aqueous sodium hydroxide so that a precipitate of iron 3 hydroxide forms. Under the conditions of the experiment, the RF value of Fe3 plus aqueous is given by dash and the color of the precipitate is 2 dash. Remember, Fe3 plus is of reddish brown or brown in color. And if you want to calculate the RF value, the X will be divided by Y because X is the distance traveled by Fe3 plus and Y is the solvent front. So we have straight away A is wrong and C is also wrong. Either B is correct or D is correct because in both these, the gap 2 is showing red brown. B should be the correct answer because in B, gap 1 shows X divided by Y. So B is the right answer. Last question. 40. Test on an aqueous solution of an unknown compound P are shown in the table. Test aqueous sodium hydroxide iodide. Observation, green precipitate soluble in excess given a green solution. You have two ions which gives green precipitate. It's either Fe plus 2 or Cr plus 3. But Cr plus 3 is soluble in sodium hydroxide giving a green solution. So it must be Cr plus 3. So either your answer A is correct or B is correct. Both C and D are incorrect. We'll move on. Dilute nitric acid added, then aqueous barium nitrate. We'll get white precipitate. This is a test for sulfate ion, SO4 minus 2. Dilute nitric acid added, then aqueous silver nitrate, no precipitate. This is a test for chloride ion, which means it is not there. We have Cr3 plus and SO4 2 plus. So B should be the right answer. Thanks for watching. Press like, give comments, and share my videos. For more videos, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.